okej, jak zwykle, okej, dobra. Hej, witam w kolejnym chapterze pięknej, nie, on nie jest piękna, w sensie... Ja jestem ciekaw, jak ten trial poprowadzą to i kto to zabił i w sumie jestem tylko ciekaw morderstw tak naprawdę. Nie ma żadnej innej fabuły poza właśnie morderstwami. Dobra, nie będę przedłużał tego. Lecimy z tym tematem, bo no... Tak. Mam nadzieję, że tym razem działa audio. Okej, działa, dobra. Now is not the time to panic. Now is not the time to make a fuss. I must remain calm and collected. I must stay resilient. Jak pokazali to śmiesznie. It's tragic. I carefully bring Maya to the remaining bed in the nurse's office. The stench of blood is nauseating. I turn around to get to the medicine cabinet, but before I can move, I hear a gasp behind me. What the hell did you do? Oh no. Listen, Hunter. It's not what it looks like. Maya is still alive. I found her laying in front of my dorm, and I took her here where I found the other two. I would recommend you to get the others so that we can properly address Maya's wounds and begin the investigation for Kokona and Chet's murder. You seriously think I will leave you alone with her? What? Do you... So you can finish the job? What, so we can finish the job? I'll stay here, you go get the others. Great, thinks I did it. Very well, I'll be back with the others. I suggest you begin wrapping up the wounds on her back. I begin going to every room, like knocking on the doors, telling them to gather in the nurse's office. Eventually I make my way back along with all the others. Holy shit! More bodies. Is Maya dead? Podoba się, że nikt nie przejął Chetem i Kokoną na razie, tylko czy Maya? Spierdalać z Mają. Jebać Maję. Maya isn't dead, however she was seriously injured. Koji, do you know enough about medicine to address her wounds? I can try, I'll save you, Maya. Koji rushes over to Maya's body with which Hunter is hovering over. A few people fill her in. Oh no, more dead meat. Jesus Christ, Tamako. 2 people fucking died and Maya was injured. Man, I didn't think anyone would have guts to kill more than one person. Chet, Kokona, Maya. The one last person walks in. Oh no. Oh, she's gonna be sad. Kokona? But suddenly Leona goes quiet and she looks down. She has no words. Tears begin to make their way down her cheeks and fall to the floor. We all watch, unsure of what to do. Nobody makes a move, but then the moves. Ash wraps his arm around the crying Leona and, accepting the random act of sympathy, she buries her face in his chest. Everyone stares in surprised shock. Even I have to admit that I did not expect this. Leona sobs as Ash pats her back. Contrasting his actions, he still has that some annoyed look on his face. Everyone stands around watching Leona sob into Ash's chest until someone else appears. Oh boy, a double murder! These ones are always so exciting! I knew he was coming yet. I'm still infuriated at his arrival. So, what's the deal with the double murders? Is there some kind of different procedure? Nope, just try to find the killer as usual. What if there were 2 killers, like different people did it? Then I guess all you gotta do is find one of them. But what about the other one? Well, I guess under usual circumstance, you could try to split the vote and vote for both of them at the same time. That wouldn't work. To jest głupie, bo teoretycznie teraz powinno być nieparzyste liczby osób. Nie, czekaj. Na trialu będzie parzysta przez to, że Maya jest nieprzytomna. Okej. To jest ciekawe, ale nie, to raczej nie zadziała. To po pierwsze. Po drugie... Znaczy powstała cała gra, cała manga Judge. Dlaczego to nie zadziała? Po drugie... nie będzie dwóch zabójców, to jest jeden zabójca. Jakby tutaj ciała są w jednym miejscu, gdyby było dwóch zabójców, to ciała byłyby raczej w innym miejscu, dużo bardziej odległym niż w tym samym miejscu. Wątpię, że... Chyba, że po prostu jeden jest zabójcą, znaczy było dwóch zabójców, ale jeden umarł. But I doubt the kids would really wanna kill two people unless you really feel like dealing out justice, and besides, there is an odd number. What about Maya with her... That's 10. You think Maya can participate in the trial in that condition? She's gonna have to sit this one out. Aha, czyli jednak będzie 9? Coś myślałem źle policzyć. But then what if she gets it wrong? But what if we get it wrong? Will she still get punished along with all of us? Yep, if the class gets it wrong, the entire class gets punished, besides the true killer. But Maya has been the one that's pushed us forward for the last 2 trials. Leona is now standing with everyone else, albeit with tears in her eyes. Ale jest brak emocji jakichkolwiek. Znaczy tak, ona popłakała się, ale jakby nie podeszła do tego ciała, nie wiem, nie zaczęła histeryzować, jakby nie wiem, wspominać czegokolwiek o niej, jakby... To jest takie płytkie, takie mocno płytkie. To Mako też nie zareagowała w ogóle na czeta. Bo czemu nie? Jakby... To wkurza mnie trochę ten brak emocji. Czy może nie brak, ale płytkość. Się powinny dziać okropne rzeczy w tym pokoju teraz. Okropne, najokropniejsze. A nie dzieje się prawie nic. Don't worry, we can do this with or without Maya. To mention, the killer is also probably the one that did this to her. This trial is for her too. I believe in my crew. Just because one person is gone doesn't mean we're going to fail. Yeah, this is so inspiring. Now I wanna solve the mystery. We can do this. It seems as if everyone has found their determination to solve the mystery. Now we need to actually do the solving. Up until now, we've relied on Maya's uncanny intuition, but now that she's unconscious, I may have to step up in her place. Boże, przestańcie gadać o Mei. Wiem, że to jest protak, ale ona nie jest istotna. To są istotni ludzie, którzy właśnie umarli. 2 z nich, halo. I have to help as much as I can. Well, aren't you kids positive? I'm sure that confidence will take you far, so I suppose I will leave it all to you. Investigate. I begin to search when Houghton approaches me. I hope you don't think I'm just gonna let you run off and do whatever. I don't understand. I'll be keeping an eye on you until the trial. Fine, just don't get in my way. I'm trying to get this done just as much as you are. Looks like I'm going to have to babysit Hunter. I've been linked to look through the cabinets to see if there's anything suspicious. Well, this looks important. What is it? Take a look. Inside the cabinet there are 2 bloody tarps. They seem to have been thrown in hardly as if the person who put them there were trying to get rid of them as soon as possible. Okej, 2 tarpsy, czyli ciała mogły być przenoszone. Tylko pytanie skąd? Dostaną pewnie ślady, jak zostały przenoszone skąd, gdzie jest dywan. Just saying. That's definitely suspicious. I agree. Bloody tarps. Nie sprawdzamy ciała? Nie? Hunter, do you notice anything suspicious about this room? The dead bodies? No, look at the floor. What about it? It's clean. It's completely clear of blood. Yeah, ciała były przenoszone, okej. To może tworzyć moją teorię o tym, że są 2 zabójców. Znaczy, że jest 1 zabójca. Ale mimo wszystko stoi przy tym. It's completely clear of blood. Look, you can see traces of blood. You can see traces of blood dripping off the beds, but no traces of blood falling to the floor. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Do you think whoever did it might have cleaned the floor? Perhaps you should remember that detail. It could be important. What do you mean? Hey Koji, how's Maya doing? She's gonna be out for a while, but she's gonna survive. I have stopped the bleeding and disinfected the wounds, so she should be good to go when she wakes up. It'll probably hurt like a bitch though, so I made sure to leave some painkillers for her. That's good to hear. If you're the one taking care of her, I know she's in good hands. Koji, since you've been addressing them, is there anything suspicious about them? Suspicious? Well, I suppose there is one thing. I checked Kokona and Chet's bodies, and the wounds with the most blood flow seems to indicate stabbing. But Maya's wounds indicate more of a slashing motion. I don't know if that means anything, but it's definitely something. I think that could definitely factor into the case. Thank you, Koji. No problem. Okay. I'm assuming you're here for the Kurokuma file. That would be correct. Alrighty, here you go. Open the Kurokuma file and begin reading. The victims are Kokona Tamashiro, Super High School level DJ, and Chet Perez, Super High School level astronomer. Both bodies were discovered at 8 AM in the nurse's office. Kokona's time of death was 11:30 PM and Chet's time of death was 11:40 PM. Okej, bardzo blisko siebie i to są czasy nocne. Czyli musiało być dużo wcześniej niż znaleziono. So Chet died pretty soon after Kokona. Causes of death, unspecified. Great. I wouldn't wanna spoil the mystery. Silence, frog. Jezu, ja bym się przyjrzał ich ciałom. Już dla samego faktu wspomnień, a już nawet nie dla... nie no, dla case'u też. Bo to jest istotne, mogą być rany, tak naprawdę. I znowu jest stabbing, znowu jest krew, znowu są... To jest takie nieoryginalne, jakby... Masz tyle możliwości na napisanie zabójstwa, ale nie nóż i ciało. Ciach. Jest dla mnie strasznie lazy writing. Oh yeah, there's something you should probably know. What is it? So, 2 nights ago I told May that she should probably apologize to you about the whole thing. I figured that you would be too stubborn, so I told her that if she wanted to fix things, she would have to make the first move. I see. Hunter's testimony as the truth, but why is that important? Hey, I think I saw something that might be important. What is it? Yesterday, I saw Kokona slipping something under Leona's door. It might have been a note or something. And she didn't knock? Nope, just slipped it under and left. Oliver's account, okay. Leona, you were close to Kokona. Do you know what she was doing before the murder? Well, I haven't seen her since yesterday morning. And she wasn't even acting weird or anything. Is that it? Of course. Leona's account. Garden. Możesz coś mieć w ogródku? Nie. Kurwa, w ogródku zakopane ciało. To było tak genialny case, ale nie. Po co? Okej, dobra, tu byliśmy przed chwilą. O, tu coś jest. Dużo krwi. Looks like this room is messed up too. Looks like someone splashed the table with blood and the floor is covered in broken glass? That's interesting. Be careful not to get caught. I'm not an idiot, Hunter. Okay. A ty coś powiesz? If you found anything suspicious, nothing that you haven't already found. Aha, dzięki mordo. Nie, tu raczej nic nie będzie, a też mogę do kuchni pójść. Nie, nie ma nic. You should check chat's room. What's in there? You'll see. Chats, okay. Oh, chuj. As soon as we step into chat's room, we can see the issue. Jesus, someone fucked this place up. Hey, check this out. What is it? It's a hammer and a knife. A hammer and a knife. Do they have blood on them? I mean, they were both in this water, so they're covered in bloody water. I put a truth bullets. Ej mordo, co ty robisz? Is Coconut's room as bad as this one? No, but I checked and it looks pretty much untouched. The only dumb room that's really messed up is this one. Okej. Czy są zaatakowane w swoim pokoju raczej. Hey, check this out. The water tank is busted. This must be why the floor is covered in water and broken glass. Water and broken glass? Okej, to mi coś przypomina. Czekaj, to sprawdzę tylko. Tak, musiałem sprawdzić, dobra. Water and broken glass. Make sure you watch your step. The water tank had a triple it. From the looks of it, something major happened in Chat's room. Blood is splattered throughout the room and some furniture looks like it had been moved. So something must have happened here, right? Wow, we've got a modern Sherlock Holmes over here. Of course something happened here, dumbass. Can you not see the blood? Yet the bodies were found in the nurse's room. Suspicious. Chat room added through bullet. Może ktoś próbował ich uratować? Ale już było za późno i nie wiem, się wycofali. Tomako, do you know anything? Well, I might know how the killer got in the Chat's room. Huh? What do you mean? Do you remember how I took on itsy bitsy bits of Chat's blood a while back? Yes, it made Mary's trial far more convoluted than necessary. Well, I still do it, only this time it's voluntary. Huh? He said that he's fine with me taking blood, as long as I don't take too much. He really was a good kid. Ja shipuję was pośmiertnie, ale shipuję was. So he volunteered to give blood for whatever it is that you do. Yep, and that's why he kept his door unlocked at night. He kept his door unlocked at night? Yep, like I said, he's a sweet kid. I'll have to do a seance later and chat him up. O Jezus, tak! Tak! Zrób to, please! Chcę przy tym być! Chcę przy tym być, kurwa, ja pierdolę. O, było piękne! O mój Boże. Nie wierzę, że moje dwie ulubione postacie są w shipie. I'm a terrible person. Tamako's account, yeah, cool. Czekaj, musimy iść do Kokona roomu, czy... O! Co? Aha, to jest ten... 4. And here's the scene I found when I woke up. Oh yeah, wasn't Maya right in front of your door? Yes, she was actually leaning against it. If I had to force open the door to get out. Needless to say, it was a very rude awakening. I can't imagine. Looks like it's covered in blood too. Down room hallway. Czekaj, tu może coś jeszcze być, co nie? W pokojach tych... Jak nie, to chyba koniec. Chyba, że jeszcze pokój Kokony mogę sprawdzić, ale to zaraz. Nie, akwarium nic nie ma, dobra. To lecimy do pokoju Kokony i idziemy na trial. To będzie ciekawe. A przynajmniej mam taką nadzieję, że będzie ciekawe. Jak Kokona to jest tu, nie, tu. Okej. Okej, czyli jednak nie można wejść, bo tu nie ma innych na K. Dobra, to lecimy stąd. Czyli Chad był zabity w swoim własnym pokoju, a Kokona była zabita w pokoju ceremonialnym. It's almost time. Can we really figure it out without Maya? I believe we can. Maya has been the one to carry us until now, but we can't rely on her. Ale For wydaje mi się smart babką. W sensie For wydaje mi się naprawdę mądrą kobietą i nie wiem dlaczego ona w ogóle ma takie coś, że o, potrzebujemy May. Znaczy, to jest ten typ, że introwertyczny geniusz i ekstrawertyczny debil, który ma intuicję po prostu. Jakby się tak dopełniają. I wydaje mi się, że to jest cool. Znaczy, cool pod tym względem... Znaczy tak, po części tak, znaczy... Częściowo cool, ale no mogłoby to tak zrobione lepiej. W sensie, no, że ona tak nie bardzo... Że Ford tak bardzo nie jakby... Nie opiera się na May. She's been carrying the weights of all of our lives on her shoulders. I can see the burden when I look into her eyes. We can't let her carry us anymore. We need to continue the fight without relying on her. Maya may be recovering, but if we don't solve this case, all of us will die. That's why we have to fight for our lives, and I don't intend to lose. We'll prove ourselves for Mari and August and Cami and Ricardo, Kokona and Chad. Okay, why did you bring August and Cami? No, dlaczego jej kartu jest przed Cami? Okej, nieważne. Po Cami. And when Maya wakes up, we'll prove ourselves to her too. You're right, I'm not gonna sit around anymore. I may not be as smart as you two, but I can help as much as I can. When Maya wakes up, I want her to be proud of us. So let's do this. This time draws near and we all gather. Eventually we are all led into the trial room. Oh boy, jak tu pusto nagle! Nie. To jest to. Chapter drugi. Czekaj. 15 osób? Nie, czekaj. Chapter drugi nie 15. 13 osób. Chapter trzeci 9. Czy teraz jest 9, tak. Tak, teraz jest 9, ale normalnie byłoby 10. To już jest tak duża różnica. Już widać luki między postaciami. To jest... Oh boy. Okej. Kogo podejrzewam? Wiktorię, Olivera, może Cezar, Ash. Mam 4 podejrzanych, reszta mi nie wchodzi w ogóle w grę. Na pewno... Tamako by nie zabiła. Nie Cheta. Z Chetem przecież trzeba uciec, więc... Nie mogę tego jednak wykorzystać. Jeżeli ona zabiła faktycznie, to... Ja rzucam tą grę o ziemię, nie kończę. Nie no, skończę ją, ale... Dobra, let's do this. To może być ciekawe. The moment of truth draws nearer and nearer. We all look around at each other. One of us is hiding their crime, and it's our task to discover the one who did it. And so it begins. A deadly attack. Biedny Chad. A deadly lie. Biedna Kokona. A deadly trial. Biedna Tamako. Nie, biedny Ricardio. I'll overcome all of it. The trial start. Let's start a basic explanation of a class trial. Blah 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 blah. So we're discussing the murders of Chad Perez and Kokona Tamashiro, along with the attack on Maya Kanzalina. So where do we start? Man, last time we were able to get into it when Maya told Ash to stop saying dumb shit. Fuck off! How about this? We talk about the place the bodies were found. I can get behind that. Very well, we already discussed the location where the bodies were discovered. It's time for the real trial to begin. Ba 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 ba. So, the bodies were in the nurse's office, right? Proceed. I remember that's where I first saw him. I think Maya was found somewhere else, but she was moved to the nurse's office so that we could take care of her wounds. Proceed. Yes, sir! I took care of her with my own 2 hands. She'll be better before we know it. So the bodies were found in the nurse's office. That means that must be where they were murdered, right? Dispute. Counter. Huh? They weren't killed in the nurse's office? I have reason to believe they were killed somewhere else and moved to the nurse's office. There was an area that seemed far more suspicious to me. And where would that be? Chat's room, ceremony room. Not the ceremony room, what am I thinking? And what would that... Aha, okay. Chat's room. His room was pretty messed up. But that doesn't make sense. How so? I'll tell you how so. Non-stop debate. The idea that the bodies were moved is dumb. What that is unless the killer had telekinesis. Just spit it out. The blood wouldn't have gotten all over the halls. Proceed. What do you mean? If you were to carry the bodies from Chet's room to the nurse's office, blood would get everywhere. Are you suggesting that they cleaned the entire hallway? No, they didn't. Huh? She's actually kind of got the point. I think it's... okay. Dispute. Are you saying there's a way they could have done it? Are you saying there's a way they could have done it? Cały czas zmieniam mi głos, nie umiem się dostosować. As a matter of fact, I am. They used tarp. They used tarps that Hunter and I found in the nurse's office. There are tarps involved? I should have known. There were tarps involved? I should have known. Wait, tarps? In one of the cabinets, the nurse's room, there were 2 tarps covered in blood. I'm assuming they were used to move the bodies without making a mess. So that means they were killed in the Chet's room. I believe that is the most likely possibility, yes. So what now? Do we move our focus to Chet's room? What was the murder weapon? Yeah, let's talk about the murder weapon. Our weapons, since 2 people died, maybe there is more than 1 weapon. I guess that gives us a reason to talk about it. I guess we're going to discuss the murder weapon now. I need to think about what we found in Chet's room. Pewnie jakieś szkła, co nie? Ale to wtedy zabicie kogoś szkłem... Łatwo się pociąć ubijając kogoś szkłem. Nawet nożem jest jakoś łatwo się pociąć, jakby... I don't really remember any of his murder weapons. Proceed. There were a few things in Chet's room that seemed like they could be weapons. Aha, właśnie, był jeszcze hammer. Okay. Proceed. There was a hammer. Smash, smash! Smash, smash! There was a knife. Proceed. Stab, stab! And I suppose you could have used the broken glass as a weapon. I don't know, something about that seems wrong. That's right. Okay, to mogło jednak nie być broken glass. It was a hammer, agree. Kliknij się w dół! Agree. So you're saying it was a knife. Of course it was a fucking knife, you fucking basic bitch! That's correct, the knife matches best with Connor and Chet's wounds. She's right, I checked out their wounds and they looked really stabby. But Maya was a bit different. I agree, based on the description you gave of Maya's wounds, I believe that the weapon wasn't the knife. I think that Maya has been attacked with a shard of glass. That makes sense. She was apparently attacked way after Kokona and Chet were killed, which probably would have been after the killer left Chet's room. But why would they be carrying around a shard of glass? Maybe they were brought... Maybe they brought it with them just in case they were caught. That way if someone sees them, they can attack the person. Well, that's a pretty risky strategy. They were allegedly pushing it. What do you mean by pushing it? Well, I never mentioned it, but there is a limit to know how many people you can kill. So you didn't tell us all the rules? Are there any other rules we need to worry about? No, I swear that's the only one. So, what happens if someone exceeds the limits? They got punished, simple as that. So if Maya had died, they would have been executed. Yep, they got real lucky when she survived. Thank you, Kirakuma. Huh? Why are you thanking me? You just confirmed that the killer is one person. Okej, ja wiedziałem to. Jakby dwie osoby nie mogą... Tak, yeah. Ale stupid bitch! You stupid bear! No, you're not a bear, you're a frog. You stupid gay frog. I guess. Damn it! Now that we know the killer is one person, thanks to Kirakuma, our most credible source, we can continue on the basis. Why don't we discuss the circumstances behind the victim's presence in Chet's room? We can assume that Chet was in his room simply because, well, that's his room. However, what was Kokona doing there? Could she have been lured by the killer? Were she and Chet doing something there? Could it be possible they were wrong and she was killed somewhere else? Once we figure out why Kokona was in Chet's room, we may find out who killed both of them. Ona seems to be acting suspicious. Maybe she knows something. She knows something. Ona dostała karteczkę od Kokony. So, does anyone know what Kokona was doing in Chet's room? Did anyone see her? Maybe she was talking to him about something. Proceed. What could they have been talking about? The motive, maybe? Proceed. Nie, raczej nie. Are you suggesting that Kokona would take Chet with her if she murdered someone? I didn't know her super well, but wasn't she pretty close to Leona? I feel like Kokona would have taken her. Hey, speaking of Leona, maybe she knows something. Hey, Leona, do you know anything? Huh? Me? I have no idea what Kokona was doing yesterday. No, you don't! Shut the fuck... Leona, tell us everything. Are you sure about that? Sure about what? You claimed that you had no idea what Kokona was doing yesterday, but someone else claimed otherwise. Huh? I'm telling you, I never saw her yesterday. That's false. Is she telling the truth? I need to think about that person's story again. How would Leona know about Kokona's whereabouts? Huh? I'm telling you, I never saw her yesterday. That's true. You're right, I didn't see her. But you did receive something from her. Alright. According to Oliver, Kokona slipped a note under your door. Is that true? Just tell us, Leona. We need anything to help us move forward. It's true. Whoa, so Kokona delivered you a note. Ooh, I'm excited. What was on it? Kokona told me she was going to murder Chet. Oh no, how dare you! How dare she! Jak śmiesz zabijać mój ship, Kokona śmieciu. Nie no, przewidziałem, że tak się może stać, to było dosyć obvious. Everyone went silent for a few seconds as it set in. What? What do you mean? So she killed him and then herself? Murder-suicide? There has to be more to it than that. She told me that she was going to murder Chet since he seemed like she... Okay, to się powaliło. She could take him out without risk, and she said she would take me with her. Did you not try to stop her? Of course I did. I spent the entire day trying to find her, but I couldn't. She must have known I would try to stop her and hid. But why? Leona, do you still have the note with you? Yes. Could you read them for us? They might help us get more of the grasp on the case. If it will help, then I'll do it. Leona pulls a crumpled up piece of paper out of her pocket, then straightens it out in front of her. Dear Leona, you don't deserve to be here. Before I met you, I was involved in a world full of people that only cared about keeping up appearances and maintaining a carefully composed image. You changed everything. You were one of the first people I've met who's truly genuine to others and to yourself. You aren't afraid to show other people your true colors. And those colors are the most vivid, beautiful array of colors I've ever seen. You're a kind, wonderful person. That's why you can't be here. Someone like you doesn't deserve to be locked up in a place like this. I know you're not the type of person to kill someone, but I can't let you rot here. So I'll do it. I'm going to go after Chad. I'm going to go to his room and kill him with a hammer. I got this from the storage room. I don't think he'll be able to put up much of a fight. I know you don't want me to do this, but if I can't do anything to help get you out of here, I'll do it. And I suppose it's not entirely selfless. I want to get out of here too. I want to get out of here with you. You've taught me that I don't have to be put up walls, and that I can let down my guard. Every moment I've spent with you has made me learn so much about the world and about myself. I want to have moments like that for the rest of my life, and I don't want you to have to waste away in here. I deserve to do great things, and if I have to kill to allow that, then I suppose I have no choice. See you soon. Sincerely, Kokona. We all stand around in silence. She's died for me. If I had found her and stopped her, I could have prevented everything. Hey, you can't blame yourself. She acted on her own. You didn't make the decision. But Leona, you can't blame yourself for the actions of others. You weren't the one to do it. But someone did. And it's our job to figure out who it was. We cannot flatter. Someone killed both Kokona and Chad. It's our goal to discover the true killer and avenge those who died. So now that we have this new piece of evidence, we know something new. What is it? Kokona did not kill Chad, and she didn't kill herself. What makes you say that? The note to Leona, Kokona mentions the murder weapon she planned on using, a hammer. Neither Chad nor Kokona showed signs of blunt force trauma, only stab wounds. So, what does that mean? Kokona changed weapons, they were interrupted. Kokona's murder plan was interrupted. Interrupted? Correct. The hammer that was mentioned in the letter was still at the crime scene, and it's impossible for it to have been planted because the only one who knew about the hammer was Leona. So unless Leona is the killer, which may still be a possibility, the hammer had to have been brought by Kokona. Which brings us back to the crime scene. If we discuss the crime scene a bit more, it may bring us to the truth. Hey, I just realized something. Huh? What is it? So, do you all remember how the water tank in the Chad's room was shattered? Of course I do. My shoe ended up getting soaking wet. I think the killer might have used the hammer. It must have been used to shatter the glass. That makes sense. Nothing else in the room really looked like it could have shattered the glass. But why was it shattered in the first place? It seems so freaking unnecessary. I'm wondering that too. I suppose we know our next conversation topic. So why was the glass tank shattered? I bet the killer needed to get the fish. Maybe we got the cause of death wrong. Wait, what if they drowned instead? I mean, the scene was pretty bloody. What if they used it to clean off that? Yes, po prostu tak. Po prostu umyli podłogę tą wodą. I agree, with the amount of blood the killer would have gotten covered. But wouldn't they then get soaking wet? That would have left wet splotches in the halls, just like August. Not necessarily. Using things like Chet's spare clothes, they could have been able to dry off. Not to mention they also had a significant amount of time between the murders, and then we found the bodies. Then they could have easily dried off after cleaning up. So the reason the tank was broken was because they smashed it to wash the blood off. I guess that makes sense. They could go to their room and get the spare outfit, but if they were covered in blood, they would have looked pretty suspicious. That makes sense, but isn't there something else that we haven't really talked about? What is it? The ceremony room. It was covered in blood, but we haven't really discussed it. That's been bothering me too, in all honesty. Why could there possibly be blood in the ceremony room? Looks like our next discussion will be over the ceremony room. We're closing in on the killer. I can feel it. So how did the blood get in the ceremony room? Maybe it was brought there. What if we were somehow wrong about the crime scene? Maybe the ceremony room was the real one? No. Man, it feels like we can go in circles. Hey, wasn't there shattered glass in the ceremony room? Maybe that came from the water tank. Agree. But why would they have glass there? I suppose there's not much, but okay. Think about the possibilities. Okay, to jednak nie. Okay, it's cool. Blood was brought there? Yes, and it connects to another strange thing we noticed in this case. Did anyone else notice how there wasn't any blood on the floor in the nurse's office? Oh yeah, I remember you pointing that out. I believe the killer used something like a jar or a bottle to collect the blood dripping from the tables which they brought to the ceremony room. But why? Maybe it was to throw us off track. Good thing we didn't fall for it. Maybe we can ask the killer himself. Huh? Did you figure it out? It's simple, really. You just have to think about why the killer was in Chet's room. Once you think about it, who could have known that they could simply enter his room? The answer becomes clear. Nie! To nie... Nie, to nie jest Tamako, nie, to nie jest Tamako, nie, to nie jest Tamako, nie, to nie jest Tamako. So, who was it? I glanced around at everyone near me. The killer was... To nie jest Tamako. It was you, Tamako Fujiwara. Haha! We need to think about it from a logical perspective. I doubt the killer would go to Chet's room if they didn't think they could get in. They would have to know that the door was unlocked. It would have been impossible to convince him to let them in because at the time he was being attacked by Kokona. However, you knew that his door was unlocked because you and Chet had an agreement. What could you possibly mean by agreement? What could you possibly mean by agreement? Ever since we arrived, you've been taking Chet's blood, and eventually you reached an agreement where he consented to the donations. On certain nights, you would go in and visit him and take his blood, and you knew that his door was unlocked. That's bogus! Other no horse no manure. That's bogus! Other horse manure. That accusations are ridiculous. Where is your proof? Show me proof. Normally, this part would be Maya's job. Let me guess. You want me to spell everything out for you so you can shut me down? Ain't happening, sister. Did I say that was what I would do? Huh? I'm going to do this my own way. You may be hiding behind denial, but I'm going to blind you with the truth. Give me your best shot! I've always wanted the true battle like this. She really has snapped, doesn't she? Prepare yourself, Tamako, because I won't back down. Okay. She is the killer, of course she is. I hate this game, this is utter garbage. Now, Tamako, I'm not going to let you push any more lies forward. I'm going to show you my truth. So let me lay out the facts. The first person to plan the murder was Kokona. The murder weapon was the murder weapon that this person used was a hammer. This person went to the nurse's office, the chat room. The person arrived and did not kill Chet. This murder didn't just involve one person. This, in a way, was a group effort. Kokona also planned a murder specifically to kill Chet. She equipped herself with a hammer and went to his room, where she attempted to attack him. However, she wasn't able to kill him, and this is the part where the truth killer comes in. The person to enter the room was Tamako. The person came with a knife and were planning on taking Chet's blood. The first person to die was Kokona. Wait, Kokona to Chet? I think Kokona. After killing the remaining person, the killer used the hammer to break the tank to clean off. Now is the part where the true killer comes out in play. You came into the room and when you saw Kokona, you stabbed her in the back, which is where the wound was found. After that, you killed Chet and found yourself as a double murderer. After both murders, you would have been covered in blood, which is when you used the hammer with Kokona brought. You shattered the water tank and used the water to clear yourself off. Now begins the part where you covered it up. Round 3 starts. After drying off, you got a trap, went to the nurse's office. Got a trap. After taking the bodies of the nurse's office, you collected their blood, hit the cause of death. After taking the bodies in the nurse's office, you collected their blood. After finishing up in the nurse's office, you splattered the blood in the ceremony room, attacked Maya. Attacked Maya. And now begins the cover-up. After killing both Chet and Tamako and drying off, you went to the storage room and get sharps, which were used to carry both bodies to the nurse's office. In the nurse's room, you used some kind of glass container, such as jar or bottle, to catch the blood that was dripping from the beds. This blood would be taken to the ceremony room, where it would be splattered on the table and the bottles would be shattered. After that, you left to go back to your room with a piece of glass just in case you need a weapon. You saw Maya standing in front of my door, and to avoid getting seen, you slashed her in the back, causing her to go unconscious. You have no alibi. The only one that could have reasonably killed Chet and Tamako and attacked Maya has to be you. Ew! Oh jeez, I guess you really did it. Figured she'd snap eventually. You were the one that killed Kokona? You simpletons! You simpletons! You think I was the killer? As if I would ever! Don't you know killers are executed, but I, the great Tamako Fujiwara, cannot die! The dead bend to my command. I would never sink so low as to commit such a crime. It's foolish, simply utterly foolish. Jesus, what the hell is going on with her? She looks weird. It's as if she's possessed. What the hell is going on? It seems as if you're showing your true colors. My true colors? You would love that.
Wouldn't you? I bet you fancy yourself to be quite the detective. So, is the detective going to spell everything out for me? Just like Maya always did? Just try it. I'll never give up.
I'll do exactly as she did, so sit quietly as I spell out the truth. Climactic finale. The case starts off with a plan for murder. Kokona decided that she would take advantage of the motive and escape with Leona, and her victim would be Chet Perez. She figured he wouldn't be able to fight back and would be an easy victim, so she took a hammer from the storage room and went to his room. And when the moment was right, she attacked. However, they were interrupted. Before Kokona would strike a killing blow, the true killer came in. They knew that the room would be unlocked because they would occasionally meet Chet and take his blood. The killer saw Kokona in the room and attacked. They killed Kokona right in front of Chet. Oh chuj. Pięknie. The killer then turned their knife onto Chet, who had just witnessed the crime, and he, like Kokona, became another victim. However, by now the killer was covered in blood and would need to take care of the bodies, and the only place they could get water to clean off was the water tank in the room. Smash. After they dried off, the killer began the process of hiding the crime. They started by wrapping the bodies into tarps, then taking them to the nurse's office. They then collected blood from the bodies using some kind of glass container like a bottle or jar. Then using that blood, they went into the ceremony room and splashed it around, possibly to throw off the investigation. Albo coś tam przyzwała. Oby coś przyzwała. As they finished off their plot, they ran into trouble in the form of Maya Kanzalia standing in front of my dorm. This shocked them, and they realized that if she saw them, they would become immediately suspicious. So they used the shard of glass that they had been carrying, then attacked Maya. And that is how the killer was able to kill Kokona, Tamashiro and Chet Perez, as well as attack Maya Kanzalina. That person had to be you, Tamako Fujiwara, this super high level supernaturalist. I rest my case. So, is it voting time? Is it? Gosh, I'm so excited. The voting booth appears, and we all begin to enter our votes. Tamako remains silent, but all eyes are glancing at her. Eventually, everyone has entered their votes, and the booths disappear. Looks like all of you voted Tamako Fujiwara, and you were correct. I fucking hate this. Nie mam już żadnych postaci, które mogę voice actować. I'm done. I'm fucking... Znaczy voice actować. Podkładać nieudolnie głos. Co mam teraz zrobić? Co mam teraz zrobić? Się życie załamało. Te najlepsze postacie właśnie umarły w tym chapterze. Idę się zajebać. Moje życie straciło sens obecnie. So she really did it. I guess I can't say this was a major shocker. Honestly, I was counting down the days until she killed someone. Never would have thought it would be two people. So Tamako, we going to get an explanation? Or will this go unexplained, just like pretty much everything else you do?
I suppose I should explain. In your summary, you missed a few details, and I can't say I wanna go out without some justification.
Huh? She changed again?
First of all, I never wanted to kill Chet. As hard as this may be to believe, I considered him a close friend. During those bloodletting sessions, I was able to get to know him. He really is a good kid, just naive. I went in expecting a regular meeting, but instead I saw Kokona trying to attack him with a hammer. I had a knife in my hand, and my friend was being attacked, so I did what anybody else would do. I helped him, but Kokona ended up dead. She was lying on the floor, bloody, and Chet was shaking in the corner, staring at me in no horror. At this point, I knew there was no way out. Knew there was no way out of what I had done. I tried to reason with him. I told him that if he didn't tell anyone, or even help me cover it up, I would bring him with me using the motive. But he refused. I saw what happened to August and Cami. I didn't want that to happen to me, so I did what I had to do. So we were friends with Chet. I suppose it wasn't a typical friendship, but I trusted him. Chet was a trustworthy person. I'll take my regret in killing someone like him to the grave, along with everything else I've done. Tamako, you're acting different. Has everything until now has been an act? In a way, yes, but not in the way you would think. What does that mean? I am not Tamako Fujirawa. I never was. Huh? Oh, then who are you? Buckle up, cause it's pretty long and hard to believe story. For a while, I've been someone out of myself. Ever since I've arrived, I felt like I don't quite belong in my body. Almost as if I was sharing my body with someone else. It's been getting worse and making me incredibly paranoid, to the point where I could barely sleep at night. It was a sign of a possession. Are you seriously going to try to say you were possessed? Let me finish. After I killed Kokona and Chet, I realized that I had an opportunity. With that much blood, I could perform an extra powerful exorcism, and maybe that would help me get whatever it was out of my head. So I collected their blood and took it to the ceremony room, where I performed the exorcism. And that's when my revelation occurred. Now, Tamako Fujirawa was a nice girl by all accounts. She loved playing with friends and drawing in sweets like any other kid. Why is she suddenly talking about her childhood? However, one day something terrible happened. She was walking across the road, and as an absent-minded truck driver didn't notice her. However, just before the collision, Tamako received a miraculous burst of reflex and strength and jumped out of the way. It was a miracle that she had gotten out with nothing but a few scraps and bruises, but then something else happened. She fell into a deep sleep and went comatose. Eventually, she woke up, but now she was different. She developed an unhealthy obsession with the supernatural and would spend hours reading books about ghosts and demons. Her personality did a complete 180, and she became a creepy girl, obsessed with the cult. But that wasn't Tamako, that was me, and I am the ghost possessing Tamako's body. Huh? Ghost? What's going on? When she survived that accident, it was because in that moment... O nie, skipnąłem! Nie wierzę w siebie, kurwa. Coś tam. I'm not sure who I was or when I died, but I was floating around, and here her near-death experience caused a door for me to go through. That coma was the period where I was adjusting to her body, for I wasn't aware of that I had done. During that period, her memories and her body became mine, but I became the dominant personality. Perhaps deep down, I knew what I was, and that's why I became so obsessed with supernatural. I lived my entire life in someone else's body, unaware of who I really was. And now, in this place of death where I'm constantly nearing what could be my own end, I felt afterlife tugging at me, and I realized my body isn't mine. And at that moment, I faced a dilemma. Do I completely exorcism and give Tamako control of her body back, or do I continue to live mine? But I couldn't do that trapped in here. I resolved myself to escape so that I could give myself the time to make the choice. But in the end, I guess I'll return to the afterlife, and Tamako will have never lived past her young age. But maybe that's just fate.
Do you seriously expect us to believe that?
Believe what you think, what you want. I suppose I could just be making things up as a way to cope, but it's really real to me, and I want you to know that.
I have a question.
What is it?
If you had escaped, do you know whether you would complete the exorcism or not?
I think I know what I would do.
What is it?
I wouldn't do it.
Why?
I suppose I've become attached to this life. I've traveled the world and I've seen its worst, but also its best. I've met people from all walks of life and heard their stories. My parents might not be my own, but they are the ones who raised me. And this body may be borrowed, but the life I lived was my own. To bring the real Tamako back, a girl who skipped years ahead and into a world she doesn't know anymore. I could never do it. I feel horrible knowing that isn't my fault, that this little girl is trapped away in her own soul, but that gave me a chance to live alive. If I had never possessed her, she would have died. I guess it's fate. And while I'm about to die, I'm happy. I'm happy that I was able to live out my own life.
Blah blah blah, I'm bored of listening to this sob story. Let's wrap it up with the grand finale.
I know many of you were scared of me, but
I've prepared a very special execution for Tamako Fujirati, Supernaturalist.
But thank you, I am glad that I was able to be Tamako with all of you.
Are you ready? Let's do this!
And Tamako, I am sorry for never giving you the chance to live. I hope that you get to go to a better place.
Tamako finds herself in a dark execution room. Surrounding her is a huge pentagram, drawn with some kind of white material. Then, in the corner, something catches her eye. One of the ends of the star catches on fire. More fire starts at the other points of the star, and the flame begins to approach Tamako. As the flames surround her, sweat forms peacefully on her skin. Her eyes are held tight and she looks terrified. But then, her expressions of fear is replaced by one of the confusion. She takes on a more innocent expression, as if she suddenly became a different person. But before this new expression can change, the fire consumes her. She can't so much as scream as her entire body burns up. Eventually the fire begins to dim, and soon they're gone, leaving nothing but a shriveled, burnt corpse. The execution ends and we all stand in a circle shocked. Do you think she was lying? At this point, I'm not sure. Tamako probably had some kind of mental illness. I refuse to believe she was possessed. Yeah, there's no way she was actually a ghost. I'm sure she was just, I agree. At this point, I'm not sure what I believe. What do you think for? It doesn't really matter. What do you mean? Whether she was possessed or not doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we can't prove anything. But I doubt she would lie to us just as she was about to die. So whether it was true or not doesn't matter because it was real to her. She lived the life that she felt was true and didn't regret it. I suppose I can respect her for that. All we can do now is live the lives we believe in. Our lives are the only things we have left. I have to disagree. Those aren't the only things we have left. You have each other too. We need to learn to trust in each other. Well said, bro. If we can't believe in each other, we can only believe in ourselves. If you only believe in ourselves, that's just lonely. So I'm glad that I have you guys as my crew. I guess I could stand to put my faith in you guys a bit more. I guess I never really knew that side of Kokona, but I can't give up my faith in others. I know Kokona was a good person, and I know that all of you are good people. Even if you try to hide it, I'll trust you all. This is dumb. You guys realize we just saw someone die, right? And that's why we have to hold on to hope. Do you see now, for? You can't just rely on yourself. We are all in it together, so trust us. I suppose. Pusto się zrobiło. Semka. Zrobię sobie przerwę od tej gry. Jakby... Tak nieregularnie wrzucam te odcinki. Ja sobie zrobię przerwę od tej gry. Muszę ochłonąć, muszę napisać muszę ochłonąć. But I need to have faith in those of us that are still alive. Maya is my friend. I realize that now. I can't just hold pretty grudges against her. So I'll have faith in others. I can trust others. After all, I still have my goal. I have to take down Freedom Academy. Chat. Czemu czat umarł pierwszy? Kokona powinna być pierwsza zniknąć. Kokona i Tamako. Została 9. Chapter 3 and... Ja jestem zawiedziony tym, co się stało. Umarł mi Ricardio, umarł mi Chet, umarła mi Tamako. Kto został? Basic Hunter, czyli Basic przydupas protaga. For, czyli Kirigiri V2. Koji, czyli Kaito. Basic Pana będzie, że Kaito trochę. Wiktoria, która w sumie nie wiem, co się odjebało i coś się stało dziwnego. Oliver, który kinda Byakuya vibes, ale trochę się przekonuje. Caesar, który po prostu nie mówi, nawet nie wiemy o nim nic. Jeszcze nic o nim nie wiemy, jest trzeci chapter, nie wiemy o nim nic poza imieniem. Kto jeszcze został? Maya to jest protak, więc jebać. Czekaj. Ostatnia osoba. Leona. A nie, czekaj, Leona jeszcze aż. Leona... Ona jest spoko, mogłem wymyślić jakiś głos ciekawy. I aż to jest tupek po prostu i... Nie wiem. Skończyły mi się sposoby do poddawania głosów, bo wszyscy umarli. Zostały same basicowe postacie, no halo! Naprawdę, jakby... Wszystkie te typy już widziałem. Tamako była ciekawa, według mnie Chet był też nietypowy, szczerze mówiąc. Ricardio uwielbiam ten typ postaci. Znaczy, dobra, Korekio nie lubiłem, ale to jest typ Korekia. Tylko że Ricardo był dobry, znaczy, dobra, tyle ile żył, był w miarę więcej dobrze. Teraz nie wiem, do kogo chodzi w ogóle na gadanie. Nie wiem, Caesar, Oliver i kto jeszcze? Leona? Tyle? Połowa za nami chyba. Tak, połowa gry za nami. To będzie ciężka noc. Nie, dobra, żartuję sobie. Okej, to ja się z wami żegnam. Widzimy się za kolejne 50 dni.